Hi, everybody. Welcome back. And I've missed you guys so much. I know Jason's been putting up anchor watches, but this week we didn't make it to the Valley recap. We've had so much stuff going on, you guys. And we got to see our girls from Taste of Reality last week in Charleston. Then we had family in town. So thank you so much for being patient with us. We wanted to kick off the summer the right way. I have been teasing our upandadamlive.com. Jason and our friend Stephanie, she has been killing it. They've been killing it together. And finally, after like a month and a half, they have got it to the perfect place. So thank you so much. I love them both. Stephanie's a long time friend. We love her. And of course, you guys know Jason is my husband. So before we bring up Kendrick Tucker from I Cannot, and we have so many topics to get through, by the way, from Dolores Catania potentially joining Real Housewives of Rhode Island, the Real Housewives of Rhode Island cast. I'm sitting here looking at it. We have the Diddy trial. We have Erika Jayne legal drama. We have Porsha versus Shamea. I don't know what's happening, but we're going to get through all of it. If you guys are in here, go ahead and let us know in the live chat where you're watching from. And just to give you guys a little peek so you guys can check it out yourselves, I wanted to share the site for the first time, which is so exciting. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up right here. If you guys are looking at the site, just to give you a heads up, it's sort of like our new website is kind of a hub for Up and Adam, like the Up and Adam community, from everything being in one place, our podcast, YouTube, and curated news specific for our community. You guys have to be sure to go check it out because there are a lot of articles. We have a full team of writers from all over the globe who are just now getting to see each other's work as of today, which is so exciting. And some of them, you can see their own personality shining through the articles, which can be a little bit snarky, and I love it. You can see our team down here at the bottom. We have Jason, Lexi, Joanne, Tyler. I mean, it keeps going. But we also have Gelsey. Gelsey will be joining Jason on Anchor Watch. That's going to start. She will be the new co-host for Anchor Watch starting June 3rd. But going back to it, you guys are going to love Gelsey too, by the way. I just want to make sure that you guys go make a profile, jump in on the comments and the conversation. We have everything from breaking news to reviews, and feel free to submit any blinds if you have them. So I want to expand the hell out of the Addams family. Go check it out. And yes, this is all free for you guys. That's exactly how we wanted it. And we wanted to make sure that you guys just have another place where you can enjoy everything, one-stop shop. Now, with that, let's welcome Kendrick Tucker. Hello.
Hello. Oh my God, it feels so good to be back. Hi.
Oh my God, welcome back. Part of the Cloud 10 family over here. We're brothers.
Sorry for everybody. My camera is giving me all types of hell, but I have my new one arrives tomorrow, so it's okay. You get to see the last of the mess. So there we go.
You know, it's funny because Jason always says to me, when we first started YouTube, Kendrick, we didn't know what it was going to be. We started it during the pandemic, and I bought a GoPro to film off of, and I put it on top of a cat tower on top of a bar stool in front of me. And I used to tape my notes to the front of my laptop because I didn't know how to do anything.
Right.
And my dad ended up having it printed because I took a photo of it one time, sent it to him, and he had it printed as a Canva for my house. And it lives in the shed. We don't show that. But you know,
your True Hollywood story one day when they look back and say, look where it all began. You can show them that one. There you go. That'll be in a museum for millions of dollars one day. We're gonna claim
no. We don't know about that, Kendrick. But
manifestation.
As far as you and Emily, though, you guys have been busy.
Ooh, it has been recording after recording after recording. And I feel like the reality TV world, the Hollywood pop culture world, like people just will not give us a break right now. Like it's a lot of trials, it's a lot of testimony, it's a lot of true crime. Porsha and Shamea cutting up, they cutting up on the Valley all the time. Like it's a lot happening. So no rest for the weary.
I mean, and you know what? It's kind of good though, because I'm not going to lie. I don't enjoy the Bravo dry spells when they happen. I feel like I'm just like, I get anxiety and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
I don't know what to do here. So this is
plenty of options right now. Exactly.
Yes. All right. So we're going to jump into our first topic, you guys. This one is a huge one. Everyone's talking about it. And Andy Cohen sort of gave a roundabout answer as to what is going on. I don't know if you guys saw this, but we have Dolores Catania, and now the rumor is that she could potentially be joining the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. But our girl Emily ended up asking him, she caught up with him, and she asked him about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And to be honest with you guys, this doesn't sound promising. Let me see if this is the one.
My favorite person.
No, that's not the one. It's in here somewhere. Well, it doesn't matter. Honestly, I'll just tell you what he said. He said, at the end of the day, he was like, listen, no, we're nowhere near close. Like, I'm sick of people asking pretty much. Like, stop asking me about the Real Housewives in New Jersey. We're not even anywhere near there yet. And we're like, wait, what do you mean we're not anywhere near there yet? Are we just slowly kind of phasing them out and pausing them? Because we know, and Melissa Gorga even came out and said, she was like, at the end of the day, like, I need Bravo to get their shit together. And we need to kind of figure out what's going on because we need to move forward with our lives. And I've heard from all of these different women in New Jersey, and they've all said, oh, well, casting reached out to us. They reached out to us. But also we're hearing the same thing about New York, and New York was rumored to be on pause too. So
right.
What are your thoughts here?
This, for me, it seems like this might be a lot of, let's throw a lot of confusion out there so people have something to cling on to until we figure out what we want to do. I understand. I think that for me, like, the best example is this season of Atlanta is working really well for me. I like all the new girls. They got the perfect amount of old girls. Phaedra pops up this upcoming Sunday. So like, I like what they've done with the Atlanta reboot. And I think it goes to show when you take a minute to kind of just figure some stuff out, you really got to like make it organic, because when they rush these reboots, it's not good for anybody, because you got to really take your time to do them. And I think I like what they're doing over there. They're not trying. I don't think they're trying to push out these new RHONY girls, but I think they're trying to say, okay, who can we add in that will be a good fit with some of the girls we already got in play? I think they got some good pieces over there. I think some can go, but you know, there are some that I think are definitely worth keeping. Let them stay, build over there. Same with New Jersey. To me, I'd be okay with if they, you know, kept a couple, or if they got rid of everyone and did a complete reboot. But either way, they need to take their time to do it, because if RHONY taught them nothing, the fans are going to have opinions about this reboot. They're going to be extra hard on it, because they're like, okay, those are my girls. Who are you about to replace them with? So whoever you replace them with have got to bring it. They have to have something going on. They've got to get the shade right. They got to be fun. They got to have the wealth, the opulence, all of it. They got to have all of this going on, and you can't just like, oh, I like this person I interviewed, let's hire her. Oh, I like that one too. No, you got to really take some time. So if they need to take another year for New Jersey, I'm okay with it.
You know, and I have to kind of defend too, because I'm going to play devil's advocate and go against what I said anyways. You know, they messed up multiple times, like when they hired Jenny Nguyen on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, not doing their due diligence and going through some of the articles and their social media. And now they've said that they do a little bit more of a deep dive into cast members, which they should be doing.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we can't just hire every Tom, Dick, and Harry and put them on the show, because we don't know what's going to come with them. Just because they look exciting, you know, it's like, it's one of those, like, we're judging a book by its cover, but what happens when you open the book? You know what I mean? And then
exactly,
when you go over to the Real Housewives in New Jersey, I was talking to another housewife. I'm not going to share who, but this housewife is also friends with Teresa Giudice. And I said, this is what I think is going to happen. I think that Teresa is going to get a spinoff with her family. I think that that's also going to heavily promote Gia on Next Gen NYC. I think that way we take Louis away from the rest of the women who feel like they feel like threatened maybe with Louis, like Margaret Josephs. We get to put them on their own show. They have enough family dynamics, and then you film it during the summer when all of the girls are back from college. And then that gives you like a good 2 months to be able to film, like, I don't know, maybe a 10 episode spinoff. And they were like, how did you know that? And I was like, what? What do you mean? How did I know that?
Whoopsie.
Did you just confirm? And they're like, I didn't say shit. And I was like, kind of sounds like you did, so-and-so. Kind of sounds like you did.
Yeah. There we go. Listen, I think that's a smart move. I think Jersey is a particular case, because their fan base is really split down the middle. You're gonna, no matter where you throw a rock, you're gonna find some diehard Melissa fans, some diehard Margaret fans over here. You throw a rock over here, you're gonna find some diehard tree huggers, some diehard Dolores. Like, you're gonna find them wherever you go. So it's a hard thing to balance. So I think if they're smart, they are gonna try to please everybody. You can't please everybody everyone by keeping them on the same show, because
Right.
it won't necessarily be enjoyable for anybody. So giving Teresa her own spinoff. And let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you,
Oh,
one
I
of
love
my
a question,
criticisms,
Kendrick.
I
I love
know, here we go. One of my criticisms is that I don't feel like Bravo and Peacock work close enough to like cross-pollinate their talent. Like, to me, I feel like Peacock is really a sweet spot for NBC Universal. Why not, if you're going to give Teresa a spinoff, do we want that to be housed on Bravo, or can we make that a big banner show on Peacock reality TV? Like, or if you do it with Melissa, if she's the one that gets, like, whatever happens, if she gets it, should that be on Peacock or should it be on Bravo? And then, we've seen them take the Real Housewives of Miami and now they're on Bravo. Like, okay, I actually loved them when they were on Peacock a little more. Like, obviously I'm watching them regardless because I love that, but I liked hopping up and seeing, like, oh my God, Miami just premiered. There are 4 episodes out. I'm gonna get my popcorn. I'm gonna put a little face mask on, luxuriate. I'm gonna watch the girls. Like, I'm gonna have a good time with Miami. But the week-to-week commercial ads kind of thing, whatever, it's okay. But why not help strengthen? I mean, Peacock needs no help. They're good over there, but why not help strengthen it and bring some of your people that you might not want to, develop a lot of advertising around? Why not put them over there on Peacock, where it's a little less competitive, I'll say.
Right. And also, to be fair, the future of TV in all of these shows is streaming anyways.
Yes.
I think that they made a huge mistake. It's funny you mentioned Miami. I thought that they made a huge mistake when they took Dubai off of Peacock and they decided to move that over to Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it did great on Peacock. I thought that we were starting to come up with new housewife shows and also revive former housewife shows. But then it's sort of like a whole fresh start for everybody. It's like some of the familiar faces, but it's on a whole new platform that just had a bit of a different filming twist. When you saw it, just like the way that they did the B-roll and the way that they just navigated it, the production value was amazing. I don't know what the stalls were, and I don't know why we switched it over to Bravo. I think what happened was
2 years.
2 years. But I think what happened truly is that they saw that these shows were successful on Peacock, and some of the other shows on Bravo were not as successful in that moment. So they're like, you know what? Let's bounce ratings up over here at Bravo. Let's take these shows, put them on Bravo, and see if we can't revive this network a little bit. And I think that's where they messed up.
Exactly. And give us way more uncensored content than we're getting. Like, if they're on Peacock, I feel like we should already have the option to click whether I want to watch the censored one because my kids are in the room. I don't have kids, but y'all know what I mean. If my kids are in the room, like, I want to watch the censored one, or if they're off the bed, I want to watch the uncensored version of Housewives and just hear. I mean, nobody does an F-bomb like the Housewives. My God, if I can just hear Tamra and Jennifer and all of them in a room just cursing each other out, that's melatonin. That's gonna put me right to sleep. Give me that. I don't want to just always have censored Housewives. It's 2025. Give me some new stuff. Use Peacock.
I like how you fall asleep during chaos too.
Yes.
So with that though, with this rumor, whether we like it or not, like I guess that's my question is, would you want, if Dolores went over to Rhode Island and she started filming with the new women and they used her as a familiar face to kind of integrate into the group, and people are like, well, she'd be moving there. No, she wouldn't, you guys. She'd probably go there. She'd pull a Meredith Marks. She would rent a house for 2-3 months. And then she would go back to her life in Jersey. Her parents are in Jersey. Her kids are in Jersey. Her boyfriend's businesses and her businesses, their entire lives are Jersey. But yeah, she can take 2.5 months to go there. The question is that something that you would want?
You know what? I'd be open to it. It's funny that like that announcement came out because like literally a week before that, I was saying like I'm okay with the whole like I don't think we need to keep all. This is probably controversial, but I don't think we need to keep all of the flagship Housewives shows. I think keep Miami, keep Atlanta, Salt Lake. Keep OC, and then there's one other one I'm forgetting. I said 5, but like keep those guys and then add some new ones. I think people are always welcome to new ones as long as they work. Like Salt Lake City is living proof of that. As long as it works, I think that people will watch it. And so them going to places like Rhode Island, I'm very intrigued in because I think some of my favorite additions like Potomac, where the hell, I mean, I'm still trying to find Potomac on the map, but Potomac, Salt Lake City, like these are places where I want to see. I don't necessarily need to go to another big city. Let's go there. Let's go to Rhode Island and see what those girls can give. Because I think that breeds a certain like you know, I really want to be on TV and there are literally no other opportunities, so I'm going to make this work kind of personality. So
Yeah.
get them over there. And if Dolores is our like, ooh, this gonna piss Porsha off, but if she's our Shamea in the sense of let's build around her and let's get some of her friends that she knows, and even if it's fake, who cares? Build some of her friends out there in Rhode Island. Okay, I like Dolores. You like Dolores. We like Dolores. Why not? Let's get Dolores over there and build a show.
You know what's funny too about these ladies? I like the fact that Rhode Island is so small, which means that essentially it is a community, and there are so many different social media, I guess, like Easter eggs, tracks, trails of these ladies being together, and they're really, really interesting. You know, we have like MLB, like MLB royalty. We have a woman who's married to a former NFL player. We have estheticians, makeup artists, hairstylists. We have just influencer moms, but they all have. There's also a woman on here whose husband for a job is a Frank Sinatra impersonator. You guys, like, I don't know what the hell we have coming our way, but with Rhode Island, as small as they're saying that it sounds like everybody's super intertwined. I don't know about you guys. I live on an island, and it took me about 6 months to infiltrate this island and figure out everybody's shit. And who everybody is, what they have to offer, what the gossip is about them, who's sleeping with who. And it was like, what?
Yeah.
So it does impact things because it really adds some sort of authenticity to it, because you can't help but find this stuff out. It just falls into your lap. Whereas like if you take a big city and you start, you know, piecing who you think might be good together, for example, Vanderpump Rules 2.0, whatever we're calling it, I don't know. You know, my friends who work at TomTom and Pump, and sir, I might have told you this, they're pissed off because maybe 2 or 3 of them who actually work there, they were cast, and then they cast through a lot of different agencies to bring in from Vegas, and like bottle service girls or actresses. And all of my friends who would have been amazing on the show, they all know each other. They were like, Adam, what the fuck is this? And like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Lisa, I guess you just have to trust Lisa's process, because I don't know why she did that.
Yeah, and I think reality TV, unfortunately, is going a lot more that way. I don't mind it in the Rhode Island sense, because that, to me, the way you described it, at least, that kind of feels like a normal friend group, where I feel like sometimes we only look at like, oh wow, everybody in this friend group is super rich, and I know we know that's not the case always. We all went to high school together. I mean, somebody might be uber rich now, somebody might be stay-at-home mom, somebody might be like this or that. Like it runs the whole gamut of like income. So this, to me, and it makes for some great power dynamics too. So I could get behind this, but I'm willing to give RHORI, is that what we're calling it, RHORI? I'm willing to give RHORI a chance. I'm willing to, you know, get in on it.
Also, too, just to kind of, before we close the chapter on RHORI, I do want to add in, you know, like, people are saying, well, we don't want other faces, let them come out as a standout on their own. But Bravo is notorious for this, you guys. Vanderpump Rules ended up doing a vacation for Summer House to promote that. Beverly Hills segued into Vanderpump Rules. When they started the first season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, they flew Katie and Lala Kent out to go to Sundance and make an appearance. So that was also cross-pollination, promotion, whatever you want to call it.
Phaedra on Dubai, first season.
Yes. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, we get that. I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't get, you know, like Teresa Giudice making a cameo with Alexia Echeverria on Real Housewives of Miami.
Hello.
You know? Like, this is what they do. So it's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have this prominent spot, but it does excite the viewers when they get to see somebody like outside of their norm and their setting, and you put them into something new. They're like, oh shit, so we are intertwined. Like, what's going on? What is this?
Absolutely.
You know? So
absolutely.
Oi. All right. So we're gonna move on from that. Guys, let's go over to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills right now, because we have a lot coming out. As far as Kathy Hilton, people have asked me multiple times. You guys know I love me some Kathy. Got to go to Kathy's little Christmas party. Not little. It wasn't little. But Kathy is such a sweetheart. She's always been so nice to me. And I love her on the show. And I love what she brings. And I love the fact that she embraces that friend role. She was asked, like, would you want to come on in a full-time setting? And she was like, no, I wouldn't. But then Jennifer Tilly was also asked, because right now we have Sutton, who is on an island by herself. She was asked, would you want to come on in a full-time role? And she said, you know, there's something that's like really great about being able to pop in and pop out and do whatever I want. However, like, I don't know, like right now I'm kind of bored and I could see it. I could see coming on and doing that. And I'm like, boy. So then on top of that, you add Heather Dubrow in. Heather Dubrow would be great, by the way, on Beverly Hills, in my opinion.
I can see it. There'd be a complete refresh for her and for that show, and they need a refresh over there. So I could get behind Heather Dubrow on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Me too. And then we have Erika Jayne. Now, Erika right now, I kind of find it ironic a little bit because she was the same person on the Beverly Hills reunion that told Garcelle that I wish that you were a little bit more interesting. However, I don't find it to be incredibly interesting that or fair. It's like saying like, oh, I'm a billionaire. Well, no, honey, you married a billionaire. Like maybe now you are, but it's not like you did the work for it. Like you just get married and you woke up next to the crypt keeper and now here we are, you know? So for her, your storyline was brought in by being married to somebody who was just a terrible person. And that has really heavily just contributed to like the last 3-4 seasons for you. And now it's still coming out. She has the Marco case that is now headed for default. And then to find out that her benefactor, the person, Jim Wilkes, who was actually apparently helping her pay for these lawsuits, which by the way, back in the day when we were covering this, attorney Ronald Richards used to come on and do lives with me. He would collaborate with me, and he was brought onto the case at the time. And he said that they are trying so hard to find out how she is paying, you know, like to navigate these lawsuits. Lo and behold, comes out, it's 70-something-year-old attorney from Florida, Jim Wilkes, who opened a bank account with Erika and something to the tune of depositing around $400,000, you guys. And now it just came out that people are investigating him over, if you guys remember, during the pandemic, a lot of big businesses brought out PPP loans and they received millions. And now there's a whole fraud department looking into these companies who received the PPP loans. And so the question is did you just get in bed with another corrupt person? And I'm not calling him corrupt. I'm saying this is a question. I'm not saying this as a statement, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know Jim Wilkes. So what is happening?
I mean, when one business, I mean, this is very reminiscent of Angie telling Braun when she loved her business strategy of marrying someone with one foot in the grave and one on a banana peel. It's like, if that's your strategy too, Erika, the first time it didn't work out so well. So are we really going to go down that rabbit hole again? Or are we just, you know, I mean, you're on a reality show, allegedly. I don't know what your status is.
Well, she was at the upfronts. So
she was at the upfronts. There we go. That looks optimistic. You're on a reality show. You're, you know, you have a music career. You know, you've got things. Okay, there are things happening. Can you not try to just make income on your own, or do you always have to go that route? Is that the route that just, you know, there are always people that are always going to go the easy way, like hard work and like it paying off is just not appealing to some people. And she kind of she's giving us the impression that that's her. Like, for as long as she had that cushion of the billionaire in the background, then, oh yes, I'm gonna do every show. I'm gonna go to Mykonos and perform here. I'm gonna go to Gay Pride and perform here. I'll do this. I'm constantly in the studio. I'm gonna get these clothing lines, all this stuff. But then once that backing is gone, it's just, I'd much rather you view me as the victim and find me someone else to replace him. And that's just kind of, wow.
You know what's so funny is this is such a commitment to you guys. When Jason and I first met in LA, because Jason was very much so single, and he dated people who, like, they were on Glee, they were on Bravo, they were on all of these things. And when Jason met me, I was also talking to other people who, before we started dating, who also were running different shows. And this is Los Angeles, right, guys? And people who would be like, I can give you a lifestyle. And I just remember thinking, just 20-year-old me was like, piss off on your lifestyle. Like, I'm going to get my own lifestyle.
Exactly.
But that's not everybody. And I'm not giving myself credit, and I'm not, you know, or Jason credit, you know, for this, because everybody's different. But I just thought it was interesting at the time. Like looking back, if I would have taken that, you know, obviously I would be in a totally different situation, living in like a big home and doing all of the, but I didn't want that. But some people, they really go to these different like Erika, and you seek it out. And then once you find it, you latch onto it. It's like a parasite.
Yes.
I'm not saying she's a parasite, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's the thing. It's always like she's very quintessential. She's very quintessential of like, I think she became like the second wave of what Bravo and maybe reality TV in general started to look for. I think the initial wave was, let's find these women that are married to the successful men. And then it kind of became the wave of, let's find these people that are doing it on their own, but also have this incredibly like rich husband next to them. And then it kind of went into that wave of, let's find the incredibly successful businesswoman. And so it's kind of like this wave. And I think her wave might be the scariest, because if both of those go, then it's like, oh boy, what now? Because I mean, we watched your whole season, you were decorating your house. And are you making that your whole personality, or do you have something else to stand on? And I think sometimes when you don't have to think about that, it might be a little iffy for everyone in the long run.
Well, you know, listen, sometimes we have patterns, and we have behavioral patterns, and we have a history of doing certain things, right? But looks like Erika might have just broken her pattern, because we know Jesse Solomon, he is not 1 foot on the banana peel and 1 foot in the bank account. I will say that based off of, if you look him up, and he is still very much so a working man. But guys, this came out. Thank you to Dumois. Erika and Jesse, which Erika's 53, Jesse's 31. They apparently met during the NBC upfronts in New York City. This was on May 12th, but then they both did Watch What Happens Live on May 14th. Now it came out, thank you to Dumois, that they potentially hooked up after the Watch What Happens Live taping, and every single media outlet is running with it. I did have an opinion, and I said, look, she's single, she's hot, he's single, he's a great looking guy. You know, they can do whatever they want. But do you think there's any truth or no?
You know what? I think I can see it. I think she's in an era now where look, she's not marrying no Jesse Solomon. We know that's not going to happen. But I think she's openly in the era where she's trying to have some fun. I think she's had a couple years where she's just been like, man, I'm on the sucky side of reality TV. I'm on the sucky side of people of notoriety. I mean, why not? Okay, now listen, is Jesse who I'm necessarily looking at? No, I mean, height is nice, but I'm okay elsewhere. But I don't know. Good for Erika, I guess. I mean, who doesn't need a good back cracking every now and then?
Whoa,
nice.
Kendrick.
Can you crack a back though? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Some people you think maybe, but then you find out that they're super vanilla, you know? So I don't know. Look at Shep Rose. He was on Southern Charm, and Taylor outed him for being like a 3 second man over there. So I don't know.
That tracks to me though. But
since we're talking about Summer House though, you guys, I thought it was interesting because the finale came out this past week. Over 400 people smash the like button and show some love. In the finale, we see where Paige ended up exposing her side of the story when it came to Craig Conover. And let me just say, I pegged this from the moment. I do not like people like this. I find it to be incredibly manipulative. And what she said just sort of grossed me out. She was at Thanksgiving with Craig, and he looked around at the table, saw the family, and he said, don't you like one day, wouldn't it be amazing for us to be doing this with our kids? And she was like, yeah. And then she thought about it, and she was like, no, actually, that's not what I want. So she told him she wanted to have a conversation. He said, can we hold this? Can we table it until I come to New York? I want to talk to you in person. Shows up to her $15,000 a month apartment. Girl is killing it. And
that's right.
Sits down with her, and she starts telling him how she's feeling. And he said, Paige, I just wish that you would have held off until you would have seen the ring. I got you a ring a year ago, and I wish you would have held off until you saw it. That's so manipulative. Like, who gives a shit about the ring? The ring's not going to keep the Kim Kardashian got a $3 million diamond from Kanye. That doesn't mean shit.
No, right, clearly, exactly. You
know what I mean?
That I think he was too focused on all the wrong things always. And this is just a prime example of sometimes both people are with the other person, and even though they might be on the same page at one point, if you're just foundationally looking for different things, it probably isn't going to work out. And I think that him always using monetary stuff like that as the prize, that's not going to work on. Ooh, what a segue you just made, because that's not going to work on someone like a Paige, who, I mean, is on every talk show right now, who is selling out theater after theater after theater with all these people, has a hit podcast, has on a hit show, all this kind of stuff going for her. I just, what is the ring going to offer her? You got to have come on, give me at least a few more notches on the checklist before you try to, throw the ring out there and say, oh, you should have waited for this. Who is that impressing?
Exactly. And, Math made a good point. No mention of the 2 quote unquote bitches that he texted that she mentioned that was in the preview. I think you guys, that was in order to protect him. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, but last season on Southern Charm, Craig threw a fit and he did not like the way that things were, the direction of the storyline. And he told production, if you guys do not change what you're doing right now, the way that you're trying to portray me, then I'm out. So he is notorious apparently for giving them ultimatums. And he probably also told them, if you guys sit here and clown me, because right now they are filming Southern Charm, then we're going to have a huge problem. And so that's probably why they took that out, in order to sort of keep the peace. Because I feel like they do heavily cater to both of them, since they're both great at what they do on their own respective shows. But I want to add to that with Tom Sandoval and Ariana. Tom decided to cheat on Ariana because they had this public persona. They were a united front. They were on the show together. They were presenting themselves as like a sort of a power couple, when really, obviously, things were cracking behind or underneath the surface. And he didn't want that stuff to get out there. That's not a reason to hold on to a relationship at all.
Exactly. Exactly. It didn't like that. You just made a lot of sense talking about why they took that out. Because I could imagine, we're seeing a lot of the like Drew Sidora and Ralph Pittman stuff play out on camera. Had it been those two, no, Bravo's gonna drag every little thing that comes up and out, because Drew is the star here. And does she need to go through the ringer? Yeah, she's the one getting paid, all like that. But we're also not protecting Ralph. So literally anything that comes out is going to come out for everyone in the audience and their benefit. That is a very different can of worms with the Paige and Craig stuff, because they're both on separate shows that have good viewership and, bringing in ad dollars, and they're both forces on their own. So I can see using that to tease the audience in, like, oh my God, I think that's going to be in the finale. I definitely want to watch that live and see who he was texting, get more about that, and then kind of pulling the okie doke on us. Because, I mean, I get it. As a fan, I want to see it. What's happening? Give me the cutting room floor. But as a, as someone that understands business, fine, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Sergio, thank you. Love you. Got to go hit the like button. Thank you, Sergio. We appreciate you. I wanted to go ahead, since you guys are asking about the Valley. Kendrick, are you watching the Valley right now?
I am. I have not watched the most recent episode, but of course, like everything else, I see enough of the highlights online that, even when I miss an episode, I'm still caught up.
I feel like, honestly, I thought this show was going to be a banger. The show was starting to lose my interest a little bit.
Ooh.
It is. I'm not going to lie. I'm finding things to be like very calculated and also very vanilla. And now that Michelle came out and she exposed the fact that Jesse has a binder and he knows what his storylines and stuff are going to be throughout the season, who he's going to become friends with and what he wants things to be perceived like. Now I'm like, this makes so much sense, because it doesn't read through to the audience. Like, what you're doing just seems boring, as opposed to if you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and you have like a Taylor Frankie Paul or a Stassi Schroeder, and you're like, oh shit, they are just unapologetically themselves. And it is what it is, whether you like it or not. That's who they are. And they're leaning into that. That to me is exciting TV.
That Taylor Frankie Paul, man, oh man, I don't care if she has no fans. I'm not in this world anymore. It's okay. And y'all are asking about my little cloud here. Another camera's coming, but I'm in the clouds because I'm an angel. That's fine. That's my
Whoa, and
little
he's also
cloud.
with Cloud 10. Okay.
Ah, there we go.
But
agreed. Yes, I get it. You know what? Sometimes reality shows too throw so much at you. I've heard people criticize Salt Lake City sometimes, like like this past season, like fantastic television, like week to week. But I've heard some people criticize saying, like, you know what, honestly, it's a little too much because a lot happens at the same time, and it's always something every single scene where I don't have a moment to like really catch my breath. And the Valley gets in that territory a lot of the time. So I get that criticism too, because there's sometimes where I'm like, whoa, like I feel like as a viewer, I should have a clear stance on something or like what's happening. And then I'm just like, actually, I think I'm not on anyone's side. I think I'm just a viewer in this situation. I don't know what's going on. He feels calculated. That feels gross. I don't know what's going on. Why are we getting check-ins from rehab? Like, it's a lot's happening that it's like confusing. So I can get any kind of criticism it's warranted, I think.
before we end up tabling the Valley, are you a fan of integrating more former cast members of Vanderpump Rules or no? No? Wow.
No, I'm not. This to me, it was an example of don't fix what isn't broken. I think, see, look at that cast photo. That's already a lot of people. And I
Yeah.
think that's enough people to sustain. I think season one really, like, it really did enough to hold its own to where I was excited when that trailer dropped, and I was like, oh yes, we get to see what's going on. We get to see what else is happening with these people. A lot of divorces, a lot of pregnancies, engagements, rehab. It's a lot happening. And to me, we get dangerously close to the stunt casting territory. Like, I know these are natural, they're friends. Like, I get it. So like a pop-up, I don't mind. Like, I know Ariana says she might pop up at some point during the season too. So like a pop-up is fine. I don't need anybody in that cast photo though.
Right.
I don't think I want to go that far.
Okay, so you're saying, yeah, no, and like even the Sheena pop-up, I didn't think that it really did anything. And I love Sheena. Like, Sheena and I are good friends. I just didn't think that it did anything having her come on. Like, I wasn't necessarily like so intrigued by it, if that makes sense. Like, I just thought it was like, okay, well, you maybe were trying to use her because she has been on TV for 11 seasons and that you guys thought that it would work, but it seems like it kind of fell short.
Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, I was more which, does she pop up in this most recent episode?
This was the episode, yeah.
Oh, okay. So to me, if we're gonna get the pop-ups, it's more titillating. Is that a good word to use? It's more titillating for me when it's like I think it's episode 3 when they call Sheena on the phone and we just hear her do the simple hey, yeah, she did say that. That kind of role, I was like, ooh, okay, Sheena came in with the mess and now she's gone. That I like, because it's like, ooh, that's a callback to that show. And I don't like the needless like episode after episode crossover that I didn't ask for. I think, let me focus on these characters, their own lives, what they got going on, and that's the kind of role like I like that. Tom Schwartz, it's like he pops up for Jax, and it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, that's a little much. Even though I did love the comforting hand that he tried to offer him in that first episode that didn't touch anything. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm okay with them not popping up anymore. I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep the cast the way it is. I'm okay. I want to learn more about them for like at least another season before we try to do a little integration.
Okay. No, makes sense. All right. On top of that, guys, I don't know if you're watching right now, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you're not, it is so good this season. Kendrick, if you had to choose one person to come on, because clearly we know that fans believe that we don't know anything, that Phaedra was integrated after Kenya was phased out. We don't know if that was just fully the plan anyways, because she did not like filming with the Married to Medicine women, and that she was going to be coming in regardless. We didn't really know how this was going to pan out. But if you had to pick one, Phaedra or Kenya being a part of the show, who are you going with?
Oh, Atlanta is my baby. You're asking me. Oh gosh, what a question.
Know. It's a hard question.
It is. I'll preface this by saying I watched Phaedra on Married to Medicine, yes, because I'm a day one Married to Medicine fan. I've kind of the past couple seasons though, and I don't know if it's Phaedra's presence or Sweet Tea being there, like whatever it is, it's lost a little luster for me. But I never understood Phaedra on that show. Loved her on The Traitors, loved her on Ultimate Girls Trip, love her on Atlanta. And from the clip that I've seen, her and Porsha are about to have a lot of fun. Despite that, though, there's something about that doggone Kenya Moore. She keeps up so much mess, and she is really a plot mover. I think Phaedra has to come on and kind of prove a little something, because I don't think a lot of people were impressed by her on Married to Medicine. As much as they love Phaedra, they weren't impressed by the Married to Medicine stint. So I think she has to come back and kind of prove herself again. But I think Kenya is a little tried and true in this space. So if I had to pick one, I'm picking Kenya coming to the reunion because she needs to be there. That's what I'm picking.
Okay.
I'm cheating. That's the choice for me.
Okay. All right. Well, if you guys are watching, then you already know this. But if you're not watching, Porsha and Shamea, this is coming to a head. And I could have called this from a mile away. It's one of those situations where you have two friends, and in some weird unspoken rule, each friend knows their place. They know what their different spaces are and how they contribute to those spaces, how they contribute to the friendship. But when Shamea was given a full-time peach, it was like, I saw this from a mile away, like, oh, no, this isn't going to work. Like, one, girl knows way too much. She has too much locked in the vault. And two, this is Porsha's space in Porsha's eyes. So what are your thoughts like with the Shamea Porsha rift, and are you enjoying having Shamea on the show?
It's so loaded, first of all, because half of my brain is like, did Porsha and Shamea workshop this at some point? And then this is all leading up to the dramatic reunion where we get this big hug and it's like, I'm so sorry. And you know, that's one, my reality TV conspiracy theorist brain over here. That's one half of it. The other half, if I'm believing that all of this is true, I get both sides. I don't understand why Shamea chooses to sit on stuff for so long, but then I also understand if she says that Porsha is someone that she has to kind of put on kitty gloves with to handle in like moments of conflict, then okay, if you want to keep your friend like that badly, I get why you don't say a lot of stuff. I also get what you just said. Porsha, this has been her thing. It's like, my friend Shamea, she has the man, she has the money, she has the jobs, like the public facing jobs, all this kind of stuff. This has always been my thing. And I brought you over here. You were a friend of, like, all this kind of stuff. And we know from this season, I recommended you to be on here, even though your husband has actively said he does not want to film for this show. So I get it, because that's going to be a huge power dynamic shift. Because I feel like whether Shamea was like that girl in town, like locally, the public knows Porsha as like that girl who's always with like all these other reality stars and always on town, and she's the one that they always like want to be around. She's kind of the nucleus in that sense. So I get that being a little bit shaky now that Shamea can position herself the same way. So it's a lot of deep layers going on. What I'm most interested in is, I think Shamea and Phaedra are now good again, but they used to beef like crazy. So I'm interested to see, with Porsha and Phaedra being so close, how this is going to affect Porsha and Shamea, and if it's going to play a role in it. I don't know if Shamea and Phaedra have like now become cool or whatever, but I'm interested to see how that dynamic changes it even more. Because I mean, Porsha got online the other day and was like, don't talk about my mama, don't do this, don't do that. And then we didn't
talk about Miss Diane.
I need Miss Diane to get on their YouTube and tell me what happened. Like, I need to know the drama, because the daughters becoming best friends while the mamas were best friends at one point. That's some loaded stuff. I need to know what happened. What happened?
You know what's funny too, and I don't know if you've ever been in a position to have to deal with this, but a lot of, you know, like growing up in my 20s, I was always around the Vanderpump cast, and I always thought it was interesting because they sort of conditioned themselves for every stupid little thing to be the biggest thing. It needs to be, even when they're off camera, it's huge. It's like, so-and-so just said that you're having a bad hair day. What? And it's like, she just said you're having a bad hair day, bitch. Like you are having a bad hair day. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
You know, but it just turns into like this massive thing. And I used to be so just like, I would think that it was wild. And I'm somebody who is, you know, Jason and I were offered to do two different shows with Bravo at two different periods of time. And thank God for just the universe and how things work out. I truly believe everything happens for a reason, but I am somebody who like, I love everybody, but then if it comes to conflict, I don't care. I will have a conversation with you. I'm not going to run from you in any sort of situation. And when I went to one of the holiday parties that all of the Bravo people were at, I got cornered by the Salt Lake City Housewives, you know? And it was this moment where they were like, so we want you to answer for this. And I was like, I had my glass of champagne. And I was like, hold on. And then I put my glass down and I was like, let's do it. Like what? And so then I had Angie Katzenevas, then I had Mary Cosby, and then over here comes Whitney. And it was just this, you know, like boom, 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 boom. And everything was made to be something so much bigger than what it was. And finally, at the end, you know, I was able to be like, okay, so we're good. Everything's good. And they're like, yeah, we just had to get it off of our chest. And I'm like, you guys do understand that like, this is not a normal way of communication.
Right.
And I think for Shamea and Porsha, the point that I was trying to build up to is Shamea still has the ability to articulate her message and have conversations and navigate through conflict with a very sound mind. You know what I mean? Whereas like for Porsha, it is all a big deal. It is theatrics. It's a moment, you know? And that's the difference.
They've been, I feel like there's a kind of another layer where it's like Porsha and Shamea have like been friends since they were teenagers. And so I think Porsha is used to like reacting the way that you're talking about, but she's used to doing it with people that like, you know, they all like to pretend like, oh, we've all been friends for years, you know, we back when, and then they'll show a picture from like last week when they were like at lunch together when they first met. Like they, you know, this happens on reality TV all the time, but now she has her like best friend on the show. And so I think in her mind, she can't fathom that she's like, wait a minute, why are you actually confronting me about this on camera? We can just talk about it. Like, why are you trying to do all of this? And it's like, Shamea's like, well, I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do. Like, what do you mean? Like that I'm supposed to be doing this on camera. And it feels like there's another layer of like, why are you confronting me on camera when like, that's what I do with these other girls. I don't do that with you. You're my actual friend. Call me and let's keep it. I think she wants a level of privacy and a level of like, let's not do this on camera to tarnish whatever image they want to have on camera. And I think that Shamea wants to be a lot more. Shamea, listen, it's Shamea's first season. She has a lot to prove. So she can't be trying to do backdoor dealings in a way. She needs to bring it all to the camera so that we can be like, oh, remember when Shamea did this or Shamea said that. It's just Shamea's playing the game like she needs to play it.
Yeah, no, and you know, it's the same thing with Sutton Stracke bringing on Jennifer Tilly. Jennifer Tilly was so taken aback by Sutton Stracke and the way that she was behaving on camera with some of these other women. And she's like, I don't know this woman.
Exactly.
You know?
So, and also, I mean, all of us that watch Bravo, we should have been expecting this to come, because when have we ever known a person to come on as someone's friend and it work out well by the end of the season? I think we've always seen that's like my favorite Housewives trope. Oh, I want to introduce you girls to her. She, you know, we've known each other and then by the time we get to the reunion, they are calling each other everything but a child of God on their reunion stage. Like, my Lord, my Lord. I don't think we could probably name 3 times total where we've seen someone come on as a friend and it worked out well. Just saying.
Janine said, Kendrick, what's the tea with Kandi and Todd?
Oh, I don't listen. All I've seen is Candy's been in the headlines a lot. I know she came out and she said a couple of things on her YouTube. One thing she said was that, this hurt me the most. She said Aunt Bertha has was it Alzheimer's or dementia? It was, I guess
it was Alzheimer's.
And that obsessed me. Aunt Bertha is like easily one of my favorite Bravo celebrities like ever. I just love her attitude. I love everything about her. That is my old lady gang, true and true. So sending them all the love in the world. But then she also came out and said that even still after all these years, someone asked her about the relationship between Todd and her mother, and she still said it's not good. And at this point, it's like, oh, Mama Joyce, like we gotta let some stuff go. We gotta let this hurt go. My gosh, what are we doing?
You know, it's funny. When I met Aunt Bertha and the old lady gang at BravoCon, I walked up to Aunt Bertha and I said, you know, like, I love you ladies. And she goes, I know. I was like, okay, well, I'm happy you know. She's like, I know. And she just looked at me like, and I was like,
love it.
okay, well, do you need anything? She's like, did I ask for anything? And I was like, okay, well, nice meeting you. See you later. Just wanted to say, like, big fan over here, big fan. And I
that's exactly how she is on the show too. I love it.
you know, but as for Candy and Todd, listen, they are a power couple. They do great together. I never want to see anything negative happen to them. They also have babies together now at this point. And his daughter is really good friends in New York with Candy's daughter, Riley. So listen, we always want families and marriage to win, unless you're Drew and Ralph. We don't want that.
Truly. Thank you for saying it. This wait a minute, this most recent episode when they kept flashing over to like the entrance of that basement, was that not the most haunting thing in the world? I'm like, I feel like I don't want a house with a basement anymore. Like, no, I don't want anything that comes from a basement. Ralph, you just stay down there. I'm assuming you're down there with the boogie monster, with the gremlins, with everybody else. Like, don't come up to my level. I don't
Ralph,
like that.
you just keep your ass down in the basement. But also, by the way, if I had a basement and I wanted to look like their basement,
right?
So, I don't know. I'm indifferent on this one.
Gosh.
Oy. All right. So moving on, guys. I did want to talk about this because we've been talking about on Up and Adam Channel 2 the Diddy trial, and this is still only the second week of the Diddy trial. We've had Cassie's testimony. We've had male escorts come forward. We've had assistants come forward. We had Cassie's mother come in and give a testimony. And also we most recently had Kid Cudi, who came in and literally just dropped bomb after bomb because he was engaging in a relationship with Cassie. Kendrick, like, so far, thoughts? And by the way, when they did the raid of the Miami mansion,
goodness,
I mean, the videos, which I am not going to play on here, I was like, this looks like a dungeon from hell.
Truly. Oh boy. This trial, in a way, I almost prefer the recaps than like the actual trial, because I'm like, Diddy, this is it's getting dark. Like Kid Cudi's testimony alone, like just here, I mean, he was letting the F-bombs fly and everything, like we talked about earlier. To hear that like Diddy just so readily was willing to like go and like what was it, a Molotov cocktail, like
a Molotov cocktail bomb on the top of his Porsche 911.
Correct. Like that's like, I feel like Diddy truly thinks he lives in a movie. Like he thinks it's Godfather or The Sopranos or Game of Thrones. Like he really thinks that, like, he's living the life of like a movie character, and he's always like, it almost feels like he wants to be infamous. He wanted to be infamous more than anything, and boy, you got it, because I'm glad we needed people to come out front and say what was going on behind the scenes, because each week, like I'm so glad. My favorite thing of the week is that Cassie's mother testified and they chose not to cross-examine her, because that just goes to show there was nothing that she said that was like unwarranted, unfounded, untrue, because they knew that they couldn't back. She was a near perfect witness. They could not refute anything she was saying. And the testimony that she had about where she said that, you know, he's a billionaire and he made me go and get a loan for 20 or a second mortgage for $20,000 to pay him not to release like this stuff about my daughter, is absolutely crazy. So I'm Kid Cudi, Cassie's mom. I'm glad everybody is speaking up despite all of the stuff that this man put them through, because it needs to be out there. It needs to be out there.
It for damn sure is out there. I mean, all right, guys, we're gonna keep watching the Diddy trial. I guess my last question for Kendrick is, listen, we know that the BravoCon announcements came out where we saw what the actual prices of BravoCon this year are going to be. And I was kind of sharing with everybody, Kendrick, like the GA tickets for 3 days, people were asking me questions, so I just want to answer as many as possible. And if you guys have them in the live chat, you're more than welcome. Jason and I have gone to every single one except the very first one. The GA tickets for 3 days are with taxes and everything, 700 plus. And then the tickets for the VIP, those run you about 1700. So people were messaging me and they're like, well, Adam, that's like not the craziest thing, you know, like for 3 days with like our favorite Bravo celebrities for $1,700. And I just wanted people to know, because I love the Addams family and the community, how much these sorts of things really cost. If you guys do plan on going, I just want people to be able to save, and you know, it's hard times, right? So $1,700 for a VIP ticket. Yes, guys, still a lot of money. However, you have to factor in your flights to Vegas. You got to stay the night on Thursday night if you want to be there all day Friday and take advantage, Saturday and Sunday. So you're still staying for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, probably about 3-4 days. So that's going to be around an extra $2,000, plus the flights will probably be around an extra $800. Let's just round it up to 3,000 plus the 1,700 for tickets. That's 4,700. You're going to shop the bazaar. You still have to get food, you have to get drinks, and then when it's all said and done, you still have to go out to eat and, you know, do whatever you want in Vegas after. You guys are easily individually, if you are doing the VIP tickets, looking at about a $6,000-$7,000 weekend, and if you're doing the GA tickets, you're looking at about a $4,500 to $5,500 weekend. But I want people to know this. You know,
and Klarna put out a statement saying that they like 131 million in the hole. So I don't think they're gonna let y'all finance those tickets. So that's just money out your pocket. I don't know.
It's money. And Janine, yes, anytime we can get Kendrick in. Also, Kendrick asked us, so we will be appearing on I Cannot eventually as well. So yes, Miss Born to Fly said that is ridiculous pricing. Whether you guys think it's some people, it's a drop in the bucket. Totally. Everybody is different. Everybody has different financial situations. But yeah, I want everyone to know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true. I'm not a Bravo Connor, and I feel like Vegas is that's a tough city for me because I like to go to Vegas, and if I go to Vegas, I probably won't even make it to BravoCon. I'll be like setting up shop in one of the casinos or like walking on the strip or something. Like that's a tricky one for me. Like New York, I go to all the time. I love New York, so I would love to do it there. But I think I'm gonna skip out on Vegas because that might become a whole nother thing for me. So you gotta know your limits, people.
I mean, you'll definitely see some shit. By the way, you know, like. Not last year because they didn't have it last year, but the year before that, like I was coming out of an NBC party and I saw Shep shit-faced at the casino. Ooh. And one of the girls who was with us, somebody stole her phone. So I was waiting in the lobby next to the casino where, you know, she was looking for her phone. I was like, Jesus Christ, like what is going on? Who took the phone? Like, do find my iPhone. Guys, always find my iPhone.
Right.
And I see him and they told him to stack his chips because he was betting, and he pushed his chips towards the woman and said, you stack them. And so then you see security like grabbing both sides of him, like ushering him out. And I'm like, oh, this is like, listen, let's check off $200 for this experience. So
right.
if you start just like nixing the price based off of things that you might witness, then sure.
That's an excursion right there. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But, Kendrick, I appreciate the hell out of you. If they don't know, we're going to let them know every single place that we can find you, starting right here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, as always. You can listen to the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart, all of the places. I am the I Cannot, that's IKEN, not with Kendrick Tucker podcast. Follow me on Instagram and Threads. It's at with Kendrick Tucker. I'm very active on Threads now. Instagram, you know, whatever. But no, I have fun on Instagram, especially in the stories. I'm always doing something. Okay, so come on over there. Someone asked if I have a YouTube. No, but I pop up on YouTube all the time and other places. So, you know, me and Emily go live every single Sunday. We're always over there on her channel. She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. We do a show, and right after that, we edit it, and it comes to both of our podcast feeds, so you can find that. I love popping up over here whenever Adam has me. A great time. So that's Kendrick. Woo.
And also, guys, like Kendrick said, you can go over and follow Emily Hanks. We love Emily over on YouTube. Yes. I love her cover art. I love everything that she's doing. Like, girl is killing it. But you can go check her out on She's Speaking with Emily Hanks as well. And for everybody who is currently watching, if you guys weren't here at the beginning, guys, a huge thank you to my husband and also one of our best friends, Stephanie, who she has her own company where she designs websites. They put together and we launched it officially as of today, upandadamlive.com. So just in case you guys, again, did not catch this at the beginning, I'm going to just sort of walk you through. It's sort of it's a hub for the Up and Adam community. Everything is in one place. It's our podcast, our YouTube. There's curated news specific for our community. So be sure to go check it out. There are a lot of articles. We have a full team of writers that are sassy. They're fun. And they're offering a lot to this. And today is the first time they actually get to see each other's work. So all you have to do is go make a profile. It is free. Jump in on the comments and the conversation. We have everything from the breaking news to reviews. And please, please feel free to submit any blinds that you might have. We will share them, of course. But with that, guys, again, thank you so much. We love you guys. Happy Friday. Happy Memorial Day weekend. I hope you guys have the best time. Don't forget, no drinking and driving. It's going to be, this is like when the police, they get all of their shits, their little, like the ticks on everything. This is where they catch up and they got to get their numbers. Okay. So just Uber, $100 or a $30 or a $50 Uber is a lot less than a $10,000 DUI in your time when you have to go out there and start doing things for other people. Also, you don't want to hurt anybody. And more importantly, like you don't want to hurt yourself. So we love you guys.
Use those Uber gift cards like Ashley Darby gave Karen Huger, okay? Use them.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, Jesus Christ. All right, guys. So we love you. Thank you to everybody in the live chat. Go to upandadamlive.com. Go follow Kendrick Tucker at I Cannot. Also check out Emily Hanks on her YouTube channel. You can find them both there. And then I will be making a cameo soon enough over on Kendrick's podcast as well. We will see you guys so very soon. Happy Friday. Bye, guys.
Bye.